Marvel fans, according to a reliable insider, Venom 3 is going to be doing some multiverse stuff and some Spider-Man stuff. Let's break it down. What's up, everybody? It's Josh coming at you from Nerd Ventures Tower. And man, I kind of hate to say it, but apparently if I don't tell you to like this video, YouTube's going to break into my house and punch me right in the gonads. It's in their terms of service. I don't think it's going to come as any surprise with all the boatloads of money that Spider-Man No Way Home is making that Marvel and Sony are hella interested in doing way more Spider-Man stuff immediately. I think honestly at this point, if they didn't capitalize on the momentum of Spider-Man No Way Home and just the idea of different Spider-Men working together, they would be dumb. Like, stupid. And just yesterday, we got more information on what this will look like moving forward when insider Daniel RPK shared on his Patreon that Venom 3 looks to explore the multiverse and will bring Venom face to face with Spider-Man. Now, that is awesome, but it also begs the question, will it be Tom Holland Spider-Man or Andrew Garfield? You will recall that a couple of weeks ago, we talked about a scoop from Small Screen Leaks, in which they described that Tom Holland has already signed on to be a big part of Venom 3, and that Venom 3 will be exploring the Spider-Verse. And so it's possible that Small Screen Leaks was onto this a little bit before Daniel, so shout out to them if it does indeed end up happening that way. But regardless, with Daniel chiming in to say that yes, it will be multiverse and bring him face to face with Spider-Man, definitely makes me think it will be Tom Holland. However, Tom Holland has sort of been out there speaking about his future, wanting to take some time off, and Andrew Garfield was a smash hit in Spider-Man No Way Home. Some people think he kind of stole the show when all of the Peters were interacting together, and there were even hashtags trending multiple times since the release of Spider-Man No Way Home to make Amazing Spider-Man 3 happen. On a small side note, I think some of the best takes I've seen with regards to Andrew and Amazing Spider-Man 3 is that, yes, those movies had incredible actors, but ended up having bad scripts and didn't end up being great movies. Now, I personally love the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies, but they are definitely not of the same quality as the Tobey movies, and in my opinion, the Tom Holland movies as well. That's minus Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3 was a complete and total tragedy of a movie. I can't believe it exists. I get angry even thinking about it. The point is, it's been refreshing for people out there to sort of realize that Andrew Garfield is incredible. He's a really good actor, did a great job as Peter Parker and Spider-Man, but just didn't have the material to work with, or maybe it just didn't come together for the people that made those movies, meaning, yeah, those movies, maybe not the best, but Andrew, awesome. We want more. And I've been talking about it in other pieces of content, but apparently, according to a lot of these insiders, there are a lot of opportunities out there for Andrew. He could do many different things, and he's interested in coming back. He's game, they are game, and they could do a lot with him. This has naturally led to speculation that maybe Andrew Garfield will come back as the Spider-Man for Tom Hardy's Venom universe, which I think would be frankly really, really cool because Tom Holland's awesome, but Feige likely wants to keep Tom Holland over in the MCU as much as possible. And so all of this discussion has sort of given rise to the question, will it be Tom Holland Spider-Man in Venom 3, or will it be Andrew Garfield? But if I'm being honest, it'll likely be both of them. I mean, Spider-Man No Way Home puts all of these Spider-Men together, and it is now the most profitable movie that Sony has had. It is a massive smash hit. So why wouldn't they do that for a movie over in their Sony universe? Because even though they make 75% of the money that Spider-Man No Way Home makes, it is still technically an MCU movie. Venom and all of the Spider-Men and all of the villains come from separate Sony universes into the MCU. That's how Doctor Strange is able to be there, and that's how they set up the Tom Holland character. But if you're Sony, why wouldn't you want to recreate that magic in your own Sony universes? You did it over in the MCU, let's now do it over in the Sony Marvel universe of characters or whatever contrived crazy thing they call it. So that's a thing. The report out there that you're going to get Spider-Man and multiverse stuff coming from Daniel, Small Screen Leaks saying that it's going to be Tom Holland being a big part of Venom 3. Kind of seems like that's on the money. We'll probably get more of that kind of info leaking out as we move forward. But What are they going to be doing? Who are they going to be fighting? And what's the grand plan over them? Well, I think this somewhat depends on if Andrew Garfield will indeed be the Spider-Man for the Venomverse, or if he's just going to be brought in from his universe once again to do Spider-Verse type things. Well, if you look at the different post-credit scenes that involve the MCU sharing Venom, the one from Let There Be Carnage and the one from Spider-Man No Way Home, I think there are a couple of important things that are established that could give us hints as to what Sony wishes to do. So Venom is explaining that he has all this knowledge from billions of years across different universes, and he just hasn't shared all of it with Eddie. But Eddie is incredibly curious of the new universe that he arrives in the post-credit scene of No Way Home. He's taking all these notes. He's talking to the bartender about all of these different heroes and the villain that was an alien, that liked stones, that made people disappear for 5 years. It's kind of like all this stuff is being thrown at Eddie. He's fascinated by it. He's excited by it. But then when he gets that sort of understanding that this alien, Thanos, made people disappear for 5 years, he then wants to go talk to Spider-Man. It's not until that moment. And I think the deal is they're setting up Eddie and Venom to both have knowledge of aliens and different universes. And so I think they've got to go really big, something Thanos level as a threat to make this just the most exciting, crazy film ever. And I think the clear answer is to do Null, the symbiote god. TLDR on Null, if you don't know who he is, which you totally should. Like, those comic books are awesome. But this is a retcon from the past 5 or 6 years, which essentially established that there was a being that created all of the symbiotes, and his name was Null. He's this sort of dark, old, eldritch god, incredibly powerful, creates this weapon called the All-Black Necro Sword. He's basically one of the most evil, badass villains we've ever seen in Marvel Comics. When he came to Earth and attacked with all the symbiotes at the end of the King in Black storyline, it was awesome. It was really, really high stakes, and the dude almost took out all the heroes on Earth. So maybe Null is something that's set up in Venom 3, and we see Venom need the help of all of these different Spider-Men, and he somehow opens up the multiverse to bring them in. Or maybe Null is a multiversal threat in this movie, and then he just runs into other Spider-Men that are also aware of the threat regardless. That is kind of the way I see that going down. And another kind of cool part of this whole thing is the small amount of symbiote that is left behind in the MCU with Tom Holland. It's possible he finds that symbiote or gets that symbiote surrounded with him and gets that suit, and perhaps Tom then gets some kind of knowledge downloaded into him of this threat of Null or something like that. So you might see symbiote suited up, Tom Holland, Peter Parker, Andrew Garfield, Peter Parker, maybe even Toby, because why not? And then, of course, Tom Hardy as Venom doing a Spider-Verse crazy film to fight a big multiversal threat. And I know a lot of you are thinking like, bro, that sounds great, but it's Sony, and I don't even love the Venom movies, and I don't think it's going to be as dope as it could be. And I'd say number one, yeah, I feel you on that, because the MCU definitely has a higher caliber quality of product than what they're doing over in the Sony movies, but they are getting better. I think Morbius looks cool, so we'll just have to wait and see on that. But it's also possible that Amy Pascal smartly gets Kevin Feige to help out with Venom 3, which I think he would be more inclined to do with Tom Holland being a part of that movie. It was reported that there are 2 other movies that Kevin Feige will be helping to produce over for Sony, a little story that kind of flew under the radar, and we have no idea what those 2 movies are, but it's totally possible that Venom 3 is one of those films. Because if they're doing the cooperation with the post-credit scenes, it kind of makes sense that Feige's on board, has some kind of a plan. They were just likely waiting to see how it all landed. I think it's all landed very well, and so now it's time to push the pedal to the metal and get this thing going in Venom 3. But that's the news. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe to our channel. See more of our content pop up in your recommended feed. Check me out on TikTok. Check out the podcast on Spotify. And don't you dare miss out on those live streams we do over on the live streaming channel. We have way too much fun for you to be missing out on that. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video.